It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Welcome to The New Next, a podcast that addresses current events and how they will impact the future.
We've talked about this before, and I think we talked about this when Joel was on about artificial intelligence. But INDOPACOM, which is the Indo-Pacific Command, wants to be able to find and hit 1,000 targets in 24 hours. So they're launching a massive drone swarm program because this says, this article on Defense One says China's most important asset in potential war with the United States is mass, which is a lot of people. So says Defense Secretary, Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks, more ships, more missiles, more people. To counter that advantage, the defense partner or department will launch an initiative called Replicator to create cheap drones across the air, sea, and land in the multiple thousand within the next 2 years. So cheap drones and distributed systems. And this is really kind of like the world that we've brought in with Ukraine right now. But it's really hard to shoot down 1,000 of anything. And I think this is, you have, it's kind of like a swarm of bees. If you got one bee, you could probably hit them away, or at least avoid it. If you got 1,000 bees, then you're jumping under a blanket and trying to protect yourself. So it's just kind of, it's the shock and awe stuff that you see these days. And it essentially totally changes the game militarily. If you're talking about like air defense systems, you don't have the ability to, well, let's think about it for 4th of July. You go buy that big old thing that's got like 20 different or 40 different things that shoot out of one entity. If you shot off like 50 bottle rockets at once and try to hit it with a shotgun, you might hit a couple, but you're not going to hit that many. So you can literally front run air defense systems, create a barrier that confuses air defense systems on the ground, and then allows for a larger guided missile to come in and basically blow this shit up. So it doesn't, at that point, it doesn't matter as much your speed, but it's kind of like bringing a crowd to a store and then robbing a purse. It's going to be hard for people to handle mass and still maintain a defensive position.
Right.
But this is where we're going. And it's really, when you think about the war of the future is under the seas. Which is, in my opinion, Russia has a huge advantage right now in their technology. They've got some legit submarine technology, and I do believe it's better than ours. They're rigged with hypersonic missiles. There's a lot of them sitting off our coast right now, and we don't actually have the ability to track them fully. With communication systems and signals, when you're sending them through water, it's very, very difficult. There's a lot of potential stuff that could conflict in that situation. So over the next couple of years, the DoD is surely going to be funding a lot of undersea communications. and stuff like visual programs, but also funding technologies into biological mimicry. So, creating drones that mimic schools of fish, small, and where you can't track them. Russia in the past has been known to use armored dolphins that they actually train. So let's see, is the Russian dolphin fleet. But yeah, they still use them right now. Train Russian Navy dolphins are protecting Black Sea Naval Base. So the memes for this are hilarious too. There's a dolphin jumping out of the water, and he's got a helmet and like a machine gun. But it's very interesting. So one of this private equity company that I know, they funded basically drones that look like birds and they have flapping wings. And you think about, like, are you going to shoot every single bird down? So it's just very, everything's getting cheaper, more efficient. The recent drone attacks that they had, Ukraine did in Russian territory, was using drones they're like, I think $1,500 or $2,000. They're made out of Australia, but they're made out of cardboard. So they come in basically pallets, and it's like covered cardboard. They put them together. It probably takes like an hour or two to put it together, and they're able to rig up explosives on them and turn them into kamikaze drones. So that's what they used recently that took out 4 airplanes. And it's just, this is the future that we're living. And I don't think most people would be really probably a huge fan of this if they knew it was going on. And I mean, the US doesn't have air defense systems en masse. So theoretically, we're very susceptible to an invasion in some aspects. And in some aspects, we're not. Our whole domestic waterways are covered with sensors that should be able to pick up stuff like submarines and stuff. But that makes some of the new technology that the Russians have for their subs a little bit worrying. But this is basically like, we can't beat Russia, China, Iran, because they have millions of standing army that are trained and are healthy enough to battle. So we're just going to have to create drones en masse and kill all those people. And I think what the war that it's turning into mimics more of what we used to call terrorism. And it's, I just don't see that this is a sustainable strategy long term.
Right.
Because of where does it go? Like, everybody's going to be doing the same thing. But it's very interesting. You have to, it's a big development. So,
yeah.
Replicator.